Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome to the weekly show of Classroom. Here's my logo. Classroom Without Walls. On this show, I interview leading social media, digital marketers, small business owners, entrepreneurs. They come here and share their best practices, strategies, tactics, so that you and I we can future proof our business. And today we are talking about something really important and relevant for every single small business owner, entrepreneur out there. That is how to attract and how to close more deals, how to get more clients. Strategies.
Sorry about that.
No worries. And also I want to, before we get started on today's show, I just want to send everyone some love, some good energy. Right now we're in this crazy crisis. Children are staying at home. So many events are canceled. So if you are live with us right now, I see a few people already here. So thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day life situation and to join us live. And really means a lot to me. And so thank you. And let me know in the comment section where you are joining us live from, social media wise and geographically speaking. So join me live today is my dear friend, Donnie Boivin, and who is the CEO of Success Champions. And Donnie is also a podcaster, an event manager, and a speaker, a book author. And I really love his story, how he kind of turned around his business from having no clients, no money, to where he is today, living his dream life, has this amazing community. People love him, love his work, and want to support him and purchase from him. So we are going to share how Donnie, what's his secret to turn his life and business around. And we are going to have our discussion based on really comprehensive article that Donnie wrote, and I'm also going to share the article on the screen and in the link in a second. But anyway, without any further ado, let me know where you guys are joining us from. And Donnie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Darren. It looks like a couple of people are having trouble on Facebook hearing us. I don't know.
Oh, really? But I heard you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people are saying they can't hear us. And I see Lance is from Sydney, Australia. That's very, very, very cool.
Oh, my dear friend Lance is here. It's like 6. I don't know, 7
No, I'll try and help you keep up with the comments because we're live on so many platforms right now. This is really, really, really fun. So I'm Donnie Boivin, and honey, I am so honored to be on your show. I've been looking forward to this one for a very, very long time. You do have such cool guests on here, and you do such a great job. So thank you for letting me be a part of this whole thing and coming and sharing my story a little bit.
Oh, thank you. And I guess like my cat is also here. So
hey, you know what? I own a farm, so hey, literally right there.
She's right there with me, learning from you. So let's get started. And I'm going to share the blog article in a second, which is a really great article. It is almost like an ebook that everyone should download. So in that article, you started the article putting yourself in a very vulnerable position and really, really open. You mentioned, if I don't get any more clients, I'm going to give up on my dream. I was like, wow, what an emotional state to be in, and a vulnerable state. And so can you describe, if you still remember that feeling? Yeah, and so can you describe, I'm sure, I think this is something as entrepreneurs, I'm a startup company myself, that many of us can relate. So I wonder if you can go back to your memory lane and share that situation, share the story, share your journey with us a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I did 20 years in the sales game before I finally jumped out and started my own business. And, when I launched my business, I was cocky enough to think that, I was going to just take on the world, be one of the world's greatest motivational speakers. And I really kind of thought that the world was just going to show up and come say hi to me. And it was really, really, really wild that when I launched, literally none of the things I thought were going to happen happened out the gate. I mean, I picked up a couple of clients here and there, but I didn't grow like I thought. My business brand just did not take off like I always thought it was going to. And so I literally about 6 months into my business, had to look at my wife and tell her, babe, we're about to freaking lose everything that we have, everything that we built, our farm, everything. Because it came down to that I just had no clue how to be a business owner. I had no clue how to run a business. I mean, I'd been an employee my entire life, and I never understood what it took to be a business owner and run a business. Hello, Vicky. I see that one on there. Mercy Day. We get all kinds of people watching.
Yeah, I have 20 people joining us live right now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Absolutely. Cincinnati, Ohio. I see that. Very cool. So as I learned very quickly that I'd been running my business like I was an employee, I was starting to understand why my business was failing so miserably. I mean, I'd spent that entire time with other people telling me what to do, even though I was a straight commission sales guy, right? Somebody always said, hey, here's your quota, here's your territory, here's what you got to do, here's what you got to sell. There was always something out there for me to do. But now that I was out running my own business, there was nobody giving me direction, say, hey, go this way, do this, do this. It was 100% on me to figure out, how to do all this. And I had to make a mental shift from this employee mindset to business owner mindset to start scaling and figuring out how to move my business forward. And the interesting thing with it all is, I love telling everybody, podcasting saved my business. So I launched my podcast in May of 2018, and it took off. I hit the top 200 charts, I think, 5 months in altogether. And it is a huge transition, Vicky. And I was getting the luxury, like you, of interviewing some of the greatest names, in business, the household names and all that. And I just had to learn to put processes and systems in place. And in putting all those processes and systems in place, I had to, up my game. Hello, Miss Stacy. How are you? And you guys want to hear a phenomenal story, you should totally check out Stacy, episode 22 on my podcast, and hear her story from going to be from a police wife, broke, to running a multi-million-dollar company that employs police officers and their families in their off-duty time. It's a really, really cool story. Wow. So that's Stacy McGovern. But yes, processes and systems. I see Kevin Snow in there, and he loves it every time I say process and systems, because I'm not a process guy. I don't like systems. I don't like rules. But you cannot successfully run a business without processes and systems. So as I continued to grow and scale the business and figure things out, we started putting automation in. We started adding a whole lot of processes and systems that help you make the transition. Vicky, that's a phenomenal question. For me, the biggest kind of aha was when I would go close a deal. I'm a sales guy, so I can sell my butt off. I'm going to try not to cuss. I cuss on my show, so earmuffs. But the biggest transition came when I would close a deal. I then would have to service that deal, right? Deliver, do all the operations, do all the delivery, package it all up. And then I'd get them results. And then they would no longer need me, move on to the next thing, because I had nothing else to sell beyond that one idea. And then I'd have nothing behind it. I have no other clients stacked up. So my first kind of big aha was, okay, I've got to be able to do what I'm good at, which is getting out front, which is, starting conversations, becoming the face of the company. I need to put people behind me that can do all the stuff that I'm not good at. So outsourcing became the biggest aha in my business, was literally getting the things off my plate that I sucked at. Like, I sucked at operations. I sucked at accounting. I sucked at, any sort of automation type thing, but I'm great with people. I'm great with, interacting and getting that information out there. So it was the moment that I realized that if I am the only person in my company that can do it, it's not scalable. And that was that biggest transition to me, to start looking at everything we're doing in their business and going, okay, where is it in the business that I'm the only person in the company that can do it? And we started outsourcing every other piece of it, and except for social, because I still handle all my Facebook, I handle all my LinkedIn, and I handle all my TikTok. By the way, at Donnie Boivin on TikTok, please follow me out there. Stacy McGovern, who I was just talking about, her and I are in a competition through March to see who can get the most followers on TikTok. So hashtag Team Donnie. Do not go follow Stacy, follow me. But it's literally when you start looking at your business and go, okay, how do I scale this? How do I get this bigger? How do I grow this to a bigger something that you can get somebody else who geeks out on that? Like, that's their favorite thing to do. Like Kevin Snow on my team is an automation genius. I mean, that guy can flat out take any company and automate their sales process so that just magical things can happen. And when you have those people that love what they do and you can outsource to them, what are you doing now with the corona market collapsing, the stock market, buying stock? I mean, that's what I'm doing. I mean, right now, with everything going on in the stock market, for me, it's 100% time to buy. So we're investing heavily in the stock market right now, in different things. I'm not going to give a stock advice because I'm not that good at it, but that's the biggest move. And, I'm telling everybody, guys, since the question was asked, is if the coronavirus is affecting your business and you're not a retail organization, I can't give a whole lot of advice in retail. It's just not my game. But if you can take your business online, get it online right now. And teach your teams, teach your people how to automate. I mean, even that article that I put out there, it's a lot about how do you grow your business, from all these different outreaches and anything you can do in social and everything new. Do not become a victim of what this is coming, guys. And what I mean by that is, don't get in the victim mentality of, this is forcing me to lose my stuff, my company, my everything else. Flip the script and invent, get creative, juke and move and take action. So part of my story, and I were talking about this when we got in here, was, I just had to postpone my summit. So we had a huge summit. We rented out a massive convention center, had speakers coming in from all over the world, or all over the US, excuse me. And government literally shut us down. I could not continue on with the summit. Well, we had invested a ton of capital in that, and a lot of money. And I had two choices. I can curl up into a ball and go, oh my God, this has happened to me, and I'm out this money until September when the summit is going to happen again. Or we can get creative and we can figure out how we can capitalize in this particular situation. So literally within a few days of us shutting down that summit, I had one of those 4 o'clock in the morning wake up calls. Was, you do as an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur, you don't sleep a whole lot because you're always thinking about, how do I grow the business? How do I scale? How do I add more? And you just put Stacy up on TikTok. No, thank you. It's Team Donnie on TikTok. That's so funny. Dang it, Stacy, I can't beat you if everybody else is going to promote you. But as one of those wake up calls, I literally had an epiphany that, Kevin says that literally 4 a.m. because he's the one who got the message from me that said, hey, everybody can't do all the business networking and everything they did in the past. Let's give them an option. So we just launched an online Success Champions networking. We've got 7 chapters opening up right now across the US. We've got 1 chapter we're talking about doing in the UK, where we're launching a virtual networking. So same thing that a lot of people are used to, where they're going and networking with other business owners, to grow and scale their business. We're doing the same thing, but we're taking it all virtually. The fun thing that we're at in there is we already had training programs and everything in place. So now that people can go do the networking, we're just adding on top that they get the additional business training where I teach all the things that I've done to scale my business as part of their membership to this, you know, a whole networking thing that we're doing. So, and somebody said in there is you've got to get creative. And think outside the box to really get good at this moment. It's those who get creative that will stay in the game. But I've talked a whole lot. I'm sure you got questions, girl.
Wow, I see that Kevin, it's 4 a.m. Thank you for joining us live. And we have people also from the UK. So you mentioned so many great points. There's so much I want to go back and unpack a little bit. So one transformation you mentioned is kind of from this employee mentality to a CEO to become a business owner. So I wonder, as a result of that, what are some like actions that you have taken? So what does mean? Like, what are some like concrete changes that you made as a reflection of that mental shift, you know, from an employee, now I'm the business owner, the entire business depends on me. So what are some big changes that you made? Share with us.
Absolutely. So the first action is realize that you're not scalable. As an individual person, you are not scalable. So if you're doing it, then it's not scalable. You know, so and guys, if you go to bit.ly, what is it? I have it somewhere. I did have it. We have a link to the networking site so I can give you guys. But so first off, start with, if you're doing it and nobody else can do it, it's not scalable. Second thing.
It's so good. So good.
Yep. Awesome. And the second thing is automate it. If you can't automate it, why are you doing it? Because almost everything in your business at this point can be automated out, except for maybe the final delivery. But your sales can almost be completely automated. There's always going to get down to a final conversation with people, you know, to usually get that final, you know, statement figured out. But outsource, automate, and then you know, look at everything and ask the question, how can I make this bigger? How can I generate more revenue off of this particular line item? With a lot of small business owners, they're chasing shiny objects. They're doing 100 different small things in their business. Guys, if your business is not 6 figures, if it's not,
if you ask people who is like a victim of chasing shiny objects, definitely, you know, especially
we all do
early stage.
Absolutely. But the reason everybody chases shiny objects in business is because they're still trying to figure out what their business is. You know, they have a lot of passions, they have a lot of things they're into, and they're still trying to figure it all out. I will always tell people to take one line of business to $100,000. Take that to a 6-figure business. And the reason you take that to a 6-figure business is because that's going to teach you everything else you need to learn to take any business to 6 figures. Right. And that's what's going to force you to level up your mindset, because mindset is always the answer. When you're building out your business is performing at the level you believe you can handle. Your business is performing at the level you believe you can handle. So until you can upgrade your mindset by literally evolving, by pushing your business forward and becoming a newer version of yourself, right? It is 100% impossible to scale your business. You've got to go break things, which was the other thing that we learned in business. Is if things aren't going haywire, if things aren't screwing up, if things aren't falling apart, then you're not going big enough with your business. If business is hunky-dory and comfortable, then I can promise you your business is going backwards. It is not scaling and growing. It's chaos in business most times is healthy for the business, because it means you're trying new things, you're adapting new things, you're putting new things in the marketplace and figuring it out. And that's a magic moment. Dude, you're going to screw things up. Things are going to absolutely break. It's in those moments of breaking that you take a few minutes, you get raged, you get mad, and don't bottle that crap up. Get pissed off, and then go, okay, I'm done with that moment of time. How do we use this? What do we learn from this? What is next? How do we apply what we learned in this failing moment to go bigger and louder and go again? Because like this summit shutting down, right? Or postponed till September. A couple of really killer things happened. One, we had a couple of amazing speakers pop in that said they wanted to come speak and be a part of the summit. We had the opportunity for them to do that, and so they came up. We now, have a 6-month runway to make this event even bigger with more people coming. The day that we postponed the summit, the day we picked up a new trade show booth person that wanted to present there, they just couldn't make this one, so they could make the next one. So even though it was a lot of cash outlay and things that were upside down, in doing all this, it became a cool blessing, and we found the silver lining as far as moving forward. And I think that's a good message for everybody at this point in life, is find the silver lining.
Totally. I love it. And everyone is talking about like resonating with your point, being scalable. I think my almost wake up point is I'm literally the only person who can run my business. If I'm sick, like if something happens to me, like nobody, not even my husband. I think that is a problem that many people have. So share with us, what are some like systems and processes that you have created to remove you from your business?
Love it. So first of all, let me address you're the only person doing it. I promise you, there is people that are following what you're doing in all these interviews. They're following your message. They're following your story. They love you and what you do. I call those people champions, right? I call those people.
All of the people here are my champions.
That's it. That's how I named my entire company, right? I named the company Success Champions, and it's that for a reason. So all these people that are watching, cheering you on, are champions. I would tell you that your first outsource is already into your brand and your story, because there's people that have businesses that completely geek out on what they do, that need help with doing what your business does. Guys, your first outsource, barter and trade your butts off, right? Find people that have talents and skills that you need, and give them your skills and talent, and trade, barter, until more funds come in, and you're going to remember, well, it's the first thing that, what is the first thing we should automate? So I'll come to that. I think it's Natalie. But barter trade, get things out until you can afford to pay people to outsource your stuff. So the first thing that we automated was the email process. So we have a very successful Facebook group called Success Champions, about 1,000 small business owners in there. It's highly, highly active. And we automated the entire entry system into that. So if somebody comes to our Facebook group, they got to answer 3 questions. Question number 1 basically says, this is a great group. Are you not going to be a jerk in the group? Right? Cool. The second one says, would you mind giving us your email? We always communicate with our members. And the third says, do you agree not to spam the group, or something like, oh, what's the biggest thing holding you back? All right. And most people will, come in, answer the questions. That entire process, Denmark, that's awesome. That entire process is now completely automated. So when somebody joins the group, they get a welcome email from us. And they get a nice conversation. So the number 1 first thing you automate is your email process. So because you're going to be having a ton of conversations with a ton of people, you always, get that automation out there. It's the easiest thing to automate.
What do you use to do that?
So our company, because Kevin Snow is a phenom when it comes to email automations, and guys, if you need help with it, I'm telling you, that's your guy. Absolutely awesome. He's watching live. But we use a program called Entreport. That's your guy. We use a program called Entreport, and that's what we like. Cost is like $147 a month, but it's a very technical program. So you really need to find somebody. So if you're just trying to do it yourself, there's programs like MailChimp.
That's what I use.
Aweber, those type of things, that you can use. But that, once again, if that is not your strength, and that's how you know you should outsource it. If it's not your strength, find somebody else who can do it for you. There's somebody out there that's probably a MailChimp wizard that is just into your stuff. Find that person and partner up and find a way to get them to do it, because the entire process of building that out takes you off the street. So anytime you're working on the operational side of your business, as the CEO business owner, your business is not growing. So if you're back playing with MailChimp or other programs like that, your business is not growing. Because as a business owner mindset, my mindset is, how do I get out front? How do I get my brand in front of the people? How do I draw an eye on her live? How do I, go live myself on different platforms? How do I get my message and brand out there? Literally, how do I become the face of the company? And once you wrap your head around that's your real, what does it say? Which tool do you use to extract emails?
I think there are a few questions about this automation that people really love. So I think maybe we can start with the first. I see a sequence. Yeah. So this question from Natalie, she's asking like, what is the first thing that you should automate? And you also mentioned earlier, Donnie, that you don't even outsource your social media content creation. So maybe you can also explain that. Yeah. So what needs to be outsourced or automated, and what needs to be you are the person that has to do this.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to answer some other questions related to automation.
Yeah, absolutely. So the answer to the social media one, I manage personally my LinkedIn, my Facebook, and TikTok. Those 3 platforms I manage. My Instagram, my Pinterest, which if you're not on Pinterest, I don't know why, because we grow the podcast tremendously on Pinterest. I got a young lady that helps me out with all that, so those are all outsourced. I don't do Twitter, just not a program that I decided I wanted to learn. So, but no
wonder you didn't respond, because I tagged you.
Yeah, I've got 1,000 followers on Twitter, and I even know where they came from. Sorry about non-responding on Twitter, but I don't even think I have a Twitter app on my phone. But yeah, so those, I think people can handle 2, maybe 3 social platforms themselves. If you're trying to do all of them, I did early on in my business, I tried to do all the social platforms, and it did not work. It was horrible. And I just couldn't keep up. But I can personally manage three platforms. But I challenge a lot of people: pick 2 platforms and go all in on those. Go all in on those. Then the first thing to automate is your emails. Get those automated and get those sequences going, because there is a ton of money in emails. A ton of money of having these direct conversations. What was the next question? I forgot.
So I see that some of Krista, thank you for joining us, and some of her questions already got answered. So this one is also related. So if someone just joins you on Facebook community, you mentioned that you have a very active Facebook group, and so what tools do you use to get those people's emails?
Yeah, so we found a program. It's called Group Convert, and there's an extension for it. It's a Chrome extension. There it is. Kevin's got it. Awesome. Thanks, bud. And so what that does is literally automate the entry process into your Facebook group. People fill out the questions, you hit one button, it pushes it to a Google Sheet, and then that pushes it back for us to Entreport, so that we can start the email conversation with everything, and allow that conversation to naturally happen out there. So that's the tool. And then, with everything, guys, you've got to be thinking about what's the customer journey, right? So
yeah, I think, sorry to interrupt you for a second. I think that's another question from Vicky from LinkedIn. Like, people are asking, like, once you grab their email, like, so how many follow-up emails do you have in sequence to really build up that trust? And so eventually you can move them from where they are to a warmer audience, and eventually a hot audience to purchase from you. So how many emails do you follow up?
We don't go, but just a couple. to get them into, because our goal is to get them to Facebook, because Facebook right now is their best asset that Facebook has is groups. And it's funny, I've actually put a post out on LinkedIn to Jeff Weiner himself, asking them why their groups are not working right now. And I'm like, you're missing a hell of an opportunity. But we were trying to get everybody back to the Facebook group. So by getting them back to the Facebook group, we can have a hell of a lot more intimate conversation, and we can get the trust factor, because they always are watching me go live on Friday at 4:00, interviewing people or just having fun conversations.
Wow.
So it's part of our sequence to get them there, because we just establish a higher credibility and trust factor. So most times 2 moves and I can have them to Facebook.
Wow. So are you saying that you capture their email, and after that you send them to your Facebook group to keep the conversation going, to build up trust, things like that? I love that.
So a little bit of both. So what we do, and this is a feature inside of Entreport, I will stand in front of an audience, or I'll do a live like this, and I'll say, guys, you can do this. You can text the words, "I am a success champion," to 817-318-6030. If you send me that text, "I am a success champion," you're going to get back an hour-long training I did with a bunch of clients of mine on how to create endless content. And I will walk you step by step on how to just make a tremendous amount of content. Now, just so everybody knows what that sequence looks like, when you send that text to me, it's going to come back and say, "What's your email?" You send me the email, we send you the free video instantly. The next email is going to come is, "Hey, come hang out in our Facebook group." Right? So now we can go with, "Hey, there's this great thing we're giving you, and now you can come hang out, and now build trust." And then you're going to get another email. "Hey, did you know," another text message says, "Hey, our book's come out. Have you seen our book?" The next one's going to come out and eventually say, "Hey, our networking group is launched. Are you interested in doing online networking?" And we are building trust, but all the while we're creating the conversations. No, I don't use ClickFunnels. I saw that question. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, no, I don't use ClickFunnels. I'd rather have somebody who's just an expert. That's why I got Kevin Snow on my team. Just build and manage it. Nothing against ClickFunnels, but
I actually use ClickFunnels. I kind of like them, but yeah.
Yeah, no, for us, with text featuring, with everything that we do, this full CRM and everything that comes with Entreport and everything we do, it's been an amazing asset and tools for us.
Well, I wonder if Kevin can send the link to this platform that you mentioned. I'm not very familiar with it. I don't know how many live audience knows about that, so love to check it out.
Sure.
So Kevin or Stacy, anyone in your tribe, don't mind, give us a link. That would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. And so here's a question from Krista, and I agree. Like I personally, I'm a part of, not lying to you, like at least 100 Facebook groups. Sometimes I'm a part of a group, I don't even know how I got involved. So it's so cluttered. It is so noisy. Like I barely check Facebook groups anymore. And that's why I kind of created a WhatsApp group. Like, so how do you mentioned that your group is really active. I can see that, people really love you. So what do you do to keep the engagement level really high?
Well, one, to answer her question more, is, I got a puppy going barking in the background. This is real life. Hold on. Hey, guys.
And in a second, I'm going to ask Donnie to explain Pinterest, because quite a few of us, we run live streaming and podcasts. I see Vicky was also talking about this Pinterest. We want to learn more about Pinterest. Cool. Donnie, like if you can also answer that, but answer that question first.
Yeah. So want to ask Krista, and Stacy just said it. Stacy runs a multi-million-dollar company, and she's all over Facebook. So just to answer that question. So they're there. So part of the trick is guys, on Facebook is you got to go find the groups that are very specifically focused on your avatar. So stop thinking about going and finding marketing groups and things that your business does, and go find groups that geek out on the same thing you geek out on. So go find groups that, if you're into cars, go find car groups, because people with money, they hang out in those groups. If you're into I don't know, karate and stuff. Go find karate groups. Go find groups that you can totally go in and build relationships with, because your CEOs and everything are there. Thanks for that, Kevin. They're hanging out. To keep the groups engaged, you just got to give them what they want. And so, every morning in our group, we start off with a business related question, and people just love it. They come in droves and answer all the questions and the content that we put out there. Remember, on any social platform, guys, the people you want are there. There's a guy named Ali Mirza that I really enjoy, putting out great content on Facebook, more LinkedIn and TikTok right now, the two biggest ones. And he showed me a guy on TikTok, which people are like, TikTok is for kids, blah, blah, blah. This guy is a stockbroker investor. And got 60,000 followers getting stock tips and advice, on him right now. And the crazy thing is he's growing a massive amount of business on TikTok, and he's in his late 60s.
Wow.
So your people are everywhere, right? Your people are in Facebook, they're on TikTok, they're on LinkedIn, they're on Instagram, they're everywhere. I don't know about Twitter, but they're everywhere. It's your job to put in a little bit of elbow grease, go find where they are, and then get engaged, get conversations going, go and make friends, and watch what happens to your business. I mean, we built a 6-figure business just out of Facebook groups.
Wow, that's incredible. I think for me, like, also Vicky mentioned, she joined lots of like small business owner groups, and just everyone is selling something, very little engagement. I think I'm a part of lots of social media marketing groups, and everyone is trying to promote something. I think for me, I need to be more active in some of the like alternative education, those type of groups, and to really share lots of value. And speaking of which, I'm going to share this really incredible article. I'm going to share the link in the comment section in a second. And so this is a really great article, very, very comprehensive. Everyone should take a look. And so in this article, you talk about like different ways to gain clients. And we definitely don't have time to talk about all of them. So there are a few I think really, really interesting. Like, for example, this one, right? So offer some help and advice. I wonder if you can share with us and like really think in the very beginning when you are getting started on this journey, when you don't really have that many clients. So where do you even find those people who trust you to, hey, I'm going to offer you something for free, and you just make sure you do the job, give me some really positive testimonials. And where do you find those people, and how much free advice do you actually give? Sometimes I think it is very easy to have people take advantage of you. They just use you. And so where do you draw the line, and how do you find those people?
I don't have a line. I give it all away. I teach everything.
Wow.
And the reason being is early on, well, not early on, I was doing sales training, and I went to an event, and a gentleman was teaching social media. And this guy got up on stage and he said, "You're going to want a pad of paper." And he literally went up on stage and taught every social platform that was out at the time, how to freaking do it step by step. And dude, I'm like a dude in the crowd, and my hands are getting tired. I'm just scribbling notes on this paper. I'm like, this dude's going to give out everything. I'm going to do it. And as we're getting, all I could think of, man, this guy's an idiot. He's just teaching everything his business does. And afterwards, he goes, "There you go, guys. If you ever need me for anything, let me know." And I walked up to the guy afterwards and I said, "Dude, you're dumb. Why are you giving away all your business knowledge, everything your business does?" He goes, "Why don't you ask me that in a week?" And I laughed at him and I said, "Okay, fine, whatever." He was a cool guy, so he wasn't being a jerk. He just said, "Ask me in a week." I went back to my office, and I sat down on my computer and I started building out my social profiles. I started doing all this stuff, creating content and blog posts, and I was just building out a massive amount of content, right? And when I finally looked up, 8 hours of my day was like gone building all this content.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, this is going to make me a ton of business. So the next day I start again. I'm doing all this content, right? Creating all this stuff and doing all this heavy work. And as I, started, getting about 2 more hours into doing this, I'm like, man, I'm not doing any cold calls. I'm not doing any reach outs. I'm not doing any of this stuff. What the heck am I doing all this social media stuff? And that guy's card just happened to be sitting next to me. And so I called him up. And when I told him who I was, he started laughing. He goes, you didn't even make it 7 days. I'm like, yeah, what's it cost me to hire your company to do all this work? And he gave me a price, and we immediately signed up for all of his services. And what I learned, and he told me this as well, is literally, guys, there is nothing you do in this world that's not already out there on YouTube, Google, Twitter, any place, right? It is already out there. Somebody's already put out the content. My freezer in my refrigerator had a problem the other day. I jumped on YouTube, put in my model number, and a guy had a video on how to defreeze my ice maker. I mean, it's already out there. And so what I realized is by sharing all your content for free, giving it away, what it does is it gets the DIYers and the tire kickers to grab your crap and go on. You don't want them as clients anyways, because they're going to be a pain in the butt. They're going to come in and want to do it all themselves. You don't want those people. What you want is the people that have go, oh my God, they've put a ton of time and effort learning their skill set, learning what they do, learning what they are. Hey, Sean, this is all the success champions coming in to watch. It's awesome. Learning, specifically that skill set. I'm going to hire them because obviously they know how to do it. So why would I want to learn how to do it when they've already got it down? Those are the clients you're looking for, not the person that was me in that crowd scribbling down all the notes going, I'm going to steal all this and do it myself. You want the people that are sitting there going, oh my God, they've perfected this process. As Stacy said, they've got this down. I'm hiring them to do my stuff. Hi, Kitty. But that's what I mean is, you guys, teach. And the more you're out on social content, teaching your content, walking people through it, I promise you, the right people are going to show up and go, oh my God, that is the exact person I need to be working with.
So true. I mean, like I do lots of live streaming shows, but I don't really do lots of teaching on the things that I know. So about a few weeks ago, I started to teach my own knowledge on Thursday. So I have kind of a separate live streaming show. And that has really helped me a lot. People actually come to me, ask me more about my school and join my list to learn more and download my workbook. So I really agree, teach your heart out.
Yes.
So do you actually give your best content away?
All of it. Wow. I mean, people can literally, I walk even people through how I screwed it all up. I mean, my book just came out and in there, I literally talk about how I destroyed my company, and all the things that I did along those lines. And the two things happen. When you're sharing that content, one, they realize you're the expert, but two, you build such a cool trust factor. I guess there's a third bonus too. I never have to remember what I said because it's my story. It's my stuff, So I just use it as leverage to move everything forward. So I think that's why we've created such a cool fan base and such amazing people that are doing so many awesome things is because of the authenticity in teaching. It's like, like you and I doing this, you got a cat crawling in the window. I got dogs barking in the background, so it's real life. And people at the end of the day, they want to do business with real people. And that
100%. My husband is outside somewhere trying to watch the children, So I agree, And I want to go back a little bit to what you mentioned earlier, Donnie, and talking about Pinterest. And so how do you use that? Like Vicky has a podcast, quite a few people, and you can share your podcast. And so Vicky's is Connect the Dots. Everyone should definitely check it out. So how do you leverage Pinterest, which is something I personally haven't touched for like a few years. So how do you use it to grow your podcast?
Yeah, well, that's a question that I would love to give a lot more details on, but I've completely outsourced that process. But let me say this. Pinterest is a long play platform. And it's just like any other platform. It's about leveraging your good content.
Mm.
So what we do is every podcast episode goes out there, every, snippets, videos, they all go out there. I have a team that's out there following and liking and commenting on other pins and stuff, and we're tracking, what are people into and how are they using, the different things. So
Wow.
it's another platform to gain brand awareness. The cool thing that I like about Pinterest, other than some other platforms, like TikTok, you do a video and it's always going to be there in your profile, but it gets buried right in the mess.
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest, your stuff keeps popping up. It's more evergreen. So when you put out a piece of content, it's going to show up in more feeds and stuff because people create all these boards of things that they're into. So it stays a little bit longer. Like, I put my book out there, and of course, first couple of days, the book didn't get a whole lot of traction. And now it's been repinned several times because, more and more people, the more people that pin it, like it, that, the more it gets shown to other people. So it's just like any other platform. You go in, you put in content, and you do the long play.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to check this out myself and hopefully outsource. So here's another question from Krista, and she asked you, I actually have a related question. So her question is, like, how much time do you actually spend online? We all know, giving value, answering questions takes lots of time. So how much time do you spend on a daily basis on Facebook, for example, to grow to the size that you have today? And my question related to this, Donnie, is like from, in the beginning, you mentioned that you were really struggling, from that struggling stage to where you are today. Or maybe when you started to gain more and more clients on a regular basis, how long did that take?
So my business turned at about 18 months in, really, to where I started generating good revenue. So 6 month mark, right around the 8 month mark, I started to get better in business, if you will. But 18 months solid. 2 years, it really started to scale and ramp up, and a couple of international speaking engagements helped with that, get the brand out there a little bit further. But the biggest thing is patience, guys. Patience.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Say that loudly.
Patience. Because it's one of the key things you got to have as a business owner. Everybody's anxious. They want it to hang out tomorrow. I can remember the days of going, my God, I've got a story, I've got a voice, I've got a great product, I've got a service. Why the hell is the world not showing up and going, God, I need more of this? And the trick was, I just wasn't in the game yet. I hadn't gone big and loud enough to let people know that I'm here and hanging out. To answer Krista's question, it took me about, I don't know, less than a year to get a healthy group, 500 plus members. And now it's just really starting to take off. So a solid year to really get a good base in there, but we monetized it very, very quickly, in there as well. So, because we didn't want to do it without adding a revenue stream to it. And then to answer the other question, how much time do I spend on social media?
Yeah.
So, usually about an hour total in a day. Sometimes it's 2 hours, but really most days it's about an hour. And all my business is 100%. Well, not 100%, but majority of it's online, because I was already doing Zoom and meetings and consulting clients all over the world, via Zoom for a long time now. So social media is always up on my screen. Like right now, I'm watching the live stream, that you're doing on LinkedIn right now, and I'm managing all the stuff that's going on. But in doing that, I'm always there, so I can see when things pop up while I'm coaching and everything, in running classes and stuff. But it's really only about an hour a day to get everything handled. And what people don't understand is people want to be just acknowledged. So I don't necessarily long comment on everybody's stuff, even in the group. People will laugh, is I love the sunglasses emoji everybody ear must because I use profanity, but that always signals badass for me. So, people have learned that about me. So a lot of times on those comments and stuff, I'm just putting the sunglass emoji. And I'm just a guy that believes if you're going to comment, you're going to interact, you're going to, ask questions, you're going to get a response, from me because you took time out of your day. I'm going to take time out of my day and respond back. And it's really about creating a community. And the fun thing is like that Facebook group. We've built everything in the business because of that Facebook group. So I do the Champions Happy Hour every Friday night, 4:00 every Friday Central. I'm live in there. There's the Champions emoji, and go live. Well, during one of the lives, literally a gal said, "Hey Donnie, I've got a speaking gig for you down in Southern Texas, Corpus Christi." And I said, "Cool, send the information. It'll fit. I'll put it in my schedule, make it happen." Well, all the people that were watching the live were like, "Well, if you're going to speak in Corpus Christi, why don't I meet you? Why don't I, meet you down there?" And so a lot of people from the Success Champions group were like, "We'll just all meet in Corpus Christi." And I'm like, "Well, if we're going to do that, we might as well do an event down there of some sort." And that led to them jokingly calling it DonnieCon. And we were going to do this whole thing called Donnie. I'm like, "No, we are not doing anything called DonnieCon." But that was the start of the Badass Business Summit. And that's how we came up with the entire idea, was because everybody wanted to get together at an event that I was speaking at. I'm like, "Well, heck with that. We'll just do our own event and bring everybody together." And that was the start of that. Same thing with the magazine. Is people kept asking for more content, and somebody on my team was like, "Hey, we should do a magazine." I'm like, "Who reads magazines?" And I was against the idea of doing a magazine, but the team's like, "Let's try it," and we did, and we took off. The first issue had 3,600 subscribers signed up for it, and now the latest edition comes out tomorrow with a fantastic guest on the cover, and Stacey McGovern was the cover on the last issue, the January issue that came out. But the new one will come out tomorrow, and we're up to almost 6,000 subscribers on that now, and it continues to grow.
That's incredible. And Vicky and quite a few people are just commenting like 1 hour a day is like nothing. Like I think for many of us, we easily, right, just waste an hour or sometimes 2 hours doing like nothing. So I love it. And so when you respond to people, and sometimes you just use emojis and kind of you create your own like your own language, and your tribe members understand that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, we are almost running out of time. I really want to ask you this. I want to go back to the article. By the way, everyone, I shared the link to this amazing blog in the comment section. You guys can check it out. So here you also talk about, to post on like, different industry boards and like Craigslist, Quora, like Facebook groups. I was like, that is so interesting. So how do you use that effectively without, sometimes if you just go there and you are trying to sell something, hey, I have a service, it's such a big turn off. So how do you leverage all those like the open forums effectively to actually grow and build your own business?
Yeah, you got to build a social acuity. And what I mean by social acuity is kind of like street cred. And so what a lot of people do is they'll go on to a new platform like a Facebook group, LinkedIn, and whatever else, and they immediately go in there and say, "Let me sell you my crap." And they put a post out and turns everybody off. When you have groups and things like that, there's an etiquette, if you will, to those groups. So I'll tell everybody, let's say you join a new Facebook group, just because I like talking about Facebook groups, but you join a new Facebook group. You go in there and usually somebody's going to put out a post that says, "Hey, welcome to the group. Tell us who you are, introduce yourself." In that group, don't even worry about your product and service or anything that much. Literally come in and say, "Hey, I own a farm in Texas. I have a beautiful wife. We got a bunch of goats, chickens, and everything else. I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody and hanging out." And you're telling your personal story. And the reason I tell personal stories is because people just don't get their personal side into business. It's because they're being two different people and they're showing up with a mask on saying, "This is my business me, this is my home life me." Your business will never work if you do that, by the way. You got to be yourself wherever you are, so you don't have to think about what story am I telling today. But then, as you're in that group for the next couple of days, go through and just like and comments and post. Don't even worry about saying anything in those posts.
I love that.
Just go in and like on them, because all you're doing is letting people know that you're hanging out and you're there. And
So true.
then a week later, go in and start answering some of the posts when people are asking questions. Start answering these questions and engaging on it. And then a couple weeks later, so you start putting out your own content that is informative, non-salesy. Don't be a sales jackass. Go in and put out your long form, stuff that literally teaches people what you do. And you're going to be amazed as long as you come across as a genuine person. And that goes on any platform. People
So
are going to enjoy it, engage. And one thing you guys got to know about social media, guys, and this holds true, it is never, ever, ever about the person who is asking the questions or commenting on your content. It's always the people that are watching. That's where the business comes from, and people don't understand.
Wow.
The
That
likes,
is
the
cool.
comments, all that stuff is vanity. It doesn't mean crap. It's literally all the people that are watching, because I can promise you, when I've done LinkedIn Lives, I've done Facebook, all that stuff, all the people that are commenting, interacting, I love them. I appreciate it. It's great. But I promise you, it's the people that are sitting back, watching how you're responding, carrying yourself. Those are the ones that actually reach out and you do business with.
You are so true. I was literally about to drop my microphone. So that is so true, because like I closed a few speaking gigs, and even like recently, and with a brand talking more about live streaming, and they don't ever come to my show. I don't know if they ever come to my show or not. They never engage with me. They're just like lurkers, and those lurkers, they are powerful. They don't engage with you, but they kind of check you out once in a while. They know so much about you, and they actually, I guess, pay you for services. And so that is such a great takeaway. Very good. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So talk about your book. And at the same time as you talk about your book, I'm going to share, and thank you so much, Stacy, for sharing the link. Is this the summit?
No, that's not the one. So it's a badassbusinesssummit.com.
Sorry, I missed it. I was like, that picture.
Yeah, badassbusinesssummit.com. There it comes.
I was like, that picture is not you, but I thought it was a stock picture or something. Yeah.
So it should come up here in a second. But so the book, there it goes, is really, it's my story intermingled with a bunch of really cool lessons learned and takeaways. So I take people through my entire journey of screwing up everything, almost losing it all, and then how I rebuild it all back. And then there, I walk them through how I took a lot of things from my past and started applying it to, thank you, Krista, applying it to everything that we're doing. And there's a couple more, there's one more speaker that's not listed on there. It's Ali Mirza. We're just getting his stuff up there.
All right, I see Stacy.
Yeah,
and
she's Kevin speaking.
All of you guys.
Yep. And so the book is how, as a small business owner, do you figure out sales? How, as a small business owner, do you really go effective networking? One of the reviews that I got on Amazon was Donnie's way he looks at networking and is a complete game changer. Wow. And I'll give you, the quick thing. Networking is 100% about growing other people's businesses. Right? If you look at networking as a means to grow your business, you're playing your game wrong. It is 100% about growing other people's businesses. Share a link and a book to the magazine. So the book is called How to Be a Success Champion on Amazon. I will work on getting a link to the magazine and get that out there for you guys. Dun, dun, dun.
I see. Incredible. I love it. And just like, so you are a fountain of knowledge. So much I can really ask you can really talk about. Also reminds me, based on what you mentioned, Donnie, reminds me of how you actually define, we didn't even have time to talk about today, how you define business development. It's not about you, but about how you are helping others developing their businesses. So that was such a powerful mental shift for me when I was reading that. So that was so good, everyone. As you can see, everyone just loving your comments. So many great great points. And I shared the link to the summit in the comment section already. I also shared the link to the blog article. And so definitely check them out.
And guys, if you'll send that text, I am a success champion to 817-318-6030, you'll get all the links to all this stuff. We have them already pre-launched in there. So send us that text and you'll get it everything as well.
Awesome. So that is one way, probably the best way to connect with you. And here is Donnie's website and any other places that they can get a hold of you, learn from you, and
yeah, I mean, Stacy said it there. Go on Amazon. I've actually got 3 books out. So one Stacy and I did together is Recipes for the Busy Badass, Quick, Easy, and Fucking Delicious. Sorry about the F-bomb, but then we did your High Vibe workbook with Laura DeFranco, who's just a writing phenom. If you're looking to write a book, man, that gal is your girl. Kevin put the text number up on the chat as well, so thank you for that, bud. And reach out there. Come listen to the podcast Success Champions. And, the last place they can check out, if you guys want to look at doing online networking, so there's the last 3 magazines. Look at online networking and creating online groups. If you'll go to a bit.ly short link, it's just bit.ly, bit.ly/champion networking. It'll take you straight to the page with all the information on the networking groups we're launching. So that's coming out. We're launching those right now. So, but a lot of cool information. Thanks for that, Cassie. Appreciate you. And Cassie's, who just commented, she on one of the groups on Facebook, I think her and her husband were on the second cover of the magazine.
That's so sweet. That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. You can actually turn that magazine, if you want, you can easily create a LinkedIn document. I have been having lots of success with LinkedIn documents, and you can easily change it that way and can share maybe a few pages, kind of give people.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I will show you after we finish the live stream.
Yeah, I love that.
Really amazing. Thank you so much, Donnie, again, for sharing so many great tips. We literally only went through like 1/3 of the questions I prepared. That shows how much knowledge you have offered us. So thank you so much. Everyone, make sure to connect with Donnie. And thank you so much for joining us again for an hour, and everyone for joining us. And everyone loved it. And I hope to see you guys again next Wednesday, same time, same location. And I have my dear friend Chelsea on the show, and we are going to discuss Instagram. And Chelsea is a rock star herself. So join us live next Wednesday, same time and same location. And thank you so much. Love you guys. Thank you so much, everyone. And you guys are awesome. Stay safe. Bye.